The Beck flotilla drifted through the void, their once gleaming hulls now pockmarked and scarred. For 13 cycles, they had broadcast distress signals across every frequency as their life support systems gradually failed. Their homeworld was gone, consumed by their sun's unexpected nova, and the survivors had fled in whatever ships could be cobbled together. Navigator Jaiwo stared at the communication panel, her 4 eyes blinking rapidly in sequence, a sign of deep distress among her people. Her translucent fingers trembled as she worked the controls. "Commander Sunwoo, I've sent another round of emergency broadcasts to all major galactic powers," she reported, her voice barely audible over the ship's laboring life support systems. No response from any of them. The command center of the lead ship fell silent. The 20 Beck officers on duty continued their work, but their movements were slower now, conservation of energy having become instinctive. Commander Sunwoo moved to the central holographic display. His tall, slender frame cast a long shadow across the projection of their fleet, once thousands of vessels strong, now reduced to just over 800 functional ships. The rest drifted alongside them, dark and silent. "Show me the status of Sector 7, he ordered. The display shifted, revealing rows of cryogenic chambers where the majority of their surviving population slept. Red warning indicators flashed over hundreds of pods. 17% of our population now in cryogenic failure, Jaiwo confirmed. The power systems can't maintain proper suspension. We lost another 38 in the last cycle." Sunwoo closed his inner eyelids, a gesture of mourning. Each lost pod contained a family, parents and children who had escaped their dying world only to perish slowly in the cold between stars. "The Orion Conclave has advanced medical technology that could save our people," said Officer Taejo, the ship's historian. "They must have received our signals." "They received them," Sunwoo replied bitterly. "As did the Vex Hegemony and the Tanis Federation. They all received our pleas. They simply chose not to answer." The Beck had never been a powerful species. Their world had been rich in culture but poor in the rare minerals that drove interstellar commerce. In the complex politics of the galaxy, they were considered unimportant. "We have enough food synthesis for perhaps 2 more cycles," reported Resource Officer Minji. "After that, we will need to wake more of our people from cryosleep to die slowly rather than all at once." Sunwoo studied the star chart. For months, they had drifted toward the nearest established trading post, hoping to encounter aid. But fuel was almost gone, and their engines could barely move the massive flotilla. "Commander," called Jaiwo suddenly. "I'm detecting an unusual star system at the edge of our long-range scanners." The display shifted to show a yellow star with 9 planets. The third planet glowed blue and green. "Life readings?" Sunwoo asked. "Abundant native life," confirmed Jaiwo. "And artificial satellites. Primitive communications technology. Metal structures on the surface." Officer Taejo quickly accessed the ship's archives. "This system is not in any major trade routes. The species there is called humans. They achieved atmospheric flight only 200 years ago and orbital capability less than a century ago. They are not members of any galactic council." "Have they developed interstellar travel?" Sunwoo asked. "Barely. A few explorations to nearby stars. No faster than light capability yet." Most of the officers looked away. A pre-FTL civilization would have nothing to offer them. But Sunwoo continued studying the display. "Are they at war with each other?" Taejo checked the records. "Constantly. But they've avoided planetary destruction so far." "How many distinct nations?" "Nearly 200, though they've formed various alliances." Sunwoo's inner bioluminescence brightened slightly, a sign of interest among the Beck. "Set course for their system. Maximum energy conservation. We will direct all remaining power to life support and cryogenic systems." His officers stared at him in surprise. "Commander," Minji said carefully, "these humans cannot help us. They lack the technology." "The advanced civilizations with the technology have ignored us," Sunwoo replied. "Perhaps these humans, who know what it means to struggle, will at least acknowledge our existence." He looked around the command center at his exhausted crew. We have nothing to lose by trying one more species. Adjusting course, Jaiwo confirmed, a faint hope in her voice. Estimated arrival, 47 days. As the massive flotilla of refugee ships slowly changed direction toward the small blue planet, Sun Wu returned to his quarters. He opened his personal archive and began recording a new message, simple enough for a developing civilization to translate, desperate enough that perhaps they would listen. To the people of Earth, he began. We are the last of the Beck. Our world is gone. Our people are dying. We ask for your help. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the UNSC Explorer, Earth's newest deep space vessel. Their mission to chart beyond Proxima Centauri was nearly complete when Communications Officer Park sat up straight at his station. Captain, I'm picking up a signal. It's not one of ours. Reyes walked over to his station. Natural phenomenon? No, ma'am. It's repeating in a pattern. Definitely artificial. Park adjusted his headset. I've never heard anything like it. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez, the science officer, joined them. Can we get a vector on the source? Park nodded, his fingers dancing across his console. Working on it. Signal is weak but consistent. Translation software is trying to decode it, but the distress pattern is universal, like an SOS that transcends language. Reyes looked at the star map. They were farther from Earth than any human had traveled before. How far to the signal source? 3 days at maximum speed, Park replied. Reyes didn't hesitate. Helm, change course to intercept. Let's see who's calling for help. For 3 days, the crew of the Explorer prepared for humanity's first contact with alien life. Military personnel ran drills. Scientists tested translation algorithms. Medical staff prepared quarantine protocols. When they finally reached the signal's origin, the ship fell silent. My God, whispered Rodriguez, staring at the main view screen. Floating in the void was a massive collection of spacecraft, thousands of vessels clustered together in a desperate formation. Most showed minimal power signatures. Some were completely dark. Thermal scans show life signs, reported the sensor officer. But they're weak. And many ships register no life at all. Reyes leaned forward in her command chair. They're dying, she whispered. How long have they been out here? The largest vessel in the flotilla began transmitting directly to them. A holographic figure appeared on their bridge, tall, slender, with translucent skin that seemed to glow from within. It had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern and spoke in a musical language none of them understood. Run it through the translation matrix, Reyes ordered. After several attempts, broken English came through. We are back. World destroyed. Many cycles drifting. Help requested from many species. None came. Life support failing. Children dying. Reyes stood. Tell them we're coming aboard to help. Captain, the security chief cautioned, regulations require. I know the regulations, Reyes cut him off. But those people are dying. Prepare a shuttle. Medical team, engineering team, and first contact specialists only. 2 hours later, Reyes led the shuttle toward the main Beck vessel. As they approached, they could see the damage up close, hull breaches patched with materials clearly salvaged from other ships, external systems jury-rigged to function. These people have been fighting to survive for a long time, said Dr. Kim, the chief medical officer. The docking was tense. No one knew what to expect. When the airlock cycled open, the humans found themselves face to face with a group of Beck. They were tall, nearly 7 feet, with bodies that seemed almost fragile. Their skin was translucent, with subtle lights pulsing beneath. Each had 4 eyes that blinked independently of each other. They wore simple clothing that seemed designed for utility rather than style. One stepped forward, holding a device that glowed as it spoke. I am Commander Sun Wu, the translation came through. Leader of Beck survivors. Reyes removed her helmet. Captain Elena Reyes of Earth. We received your distress call. The aliens' inner lights pulsed brighter. Earth. You are humans? Yes, Reyes confirmed. Sunwa's device took a moment to translate his next words. We asked for help from many species. Species with great power. Great technology. They ignored us. Why did you come? Your technology is simple. Dr. Kim had already begun scanning the nearest beck with a medical tricorder. Captain, they're suffering from malnutrition and radiation exposure. Several appear to be in advanced stages of cellular decay. Reyes looked at the aliens, noticing now how some trembled with the effort to stand. How many survivors? 2 million in hibernation, Sunwoo replied. Many failing. 12,000 awake to maintain ships. Food nearly gone. Reyes made a decision. She activated her comm link. Explorer, this is Captain Reyes. Contact Earth immediately. Inform United Nations Space Command we have encountered a refugee species in dire need. Request immediate humanitarian aid. All available ships. I am declaring this a Level 1 emergency under the New Frontier Treaty. She turned back to Sunwoo. We don't have much, but we're going to share what we have. And more help is coming. The alien commander's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. The translator conveyed his simple response, we asked for help from many. Only you came. As the human medical team began treating the weakest beck, Reyes touched her communicator again. And get me the plans for our hydroponics systems. Let's see if we can get them some fresh food while we wait for the relief fleet. Earth responded to Captain Reyes' emergency call with unexpected speed. Within 3 weeks, a fleet of 27 ships reached the Beck flotilla. They brought food, medicine, technical experts, and hope. General Miho Lee of the United Nations Space Command supervised the operation from the bridge of the UNS Mercy, Earth's largest hospital ship. Status report, she requested, watching as shuttles moved between human vessels and the alien fleet. Colonel Rivera, her operations officer, consulted his tablet. Medical teams have treated the most critical cases. Engineering crews have restored life support to 14 more Beck ships. Food distribution is ongoing. And the cryogenic chambers? That's more challenging. Their technology is different from ours. But Dr. Patel thinks we can stabilize most of them. General Lee nodded. This was humanity's first major interstellar rescue operation. The UN had named it the Humanity Project, and every nation on Earth had contributed resources. In the main hold of the Mercy, hundreds of Beck received medical care. Dr. Sato approached a young Beck child who cowered behind her mother. It's okay, Dr. Sato said gently, though she knew the translator might not convey her tone. I just want to check if you're feeling better. The child's mother encouraged her forward. The girl's translucent skin showed the outline of her organs, many still functioning poorly from malnutrition. Can you make your lights glow for me? Dr. Sato asked, having learned this was a way to check a Beck's health. Slowly, a soft blue light pulsed under the child's skin. It was weak but steady. Very good, the doctor smiled. You're getting stronger. Across the flotilla, human engineers worked alongside Beck technicians to repair critical systems. On one damaged ship, engineer Tomas Singh showed a Beck named Juno how to adapt Earth technology to their power grid. This connector isn't perfect, Singh explained, but it should hold until we can make proper parts. Juno's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession, what humans now recognized as a sign of gratitude. Why help us? We have nothing to give in return. Singh shrugged. You needed help. That's enough reason. Meanwhile, on Earth, the United Nations General Assembly convened an emergency session. Representatives from all nations gathered to discuss the long-term implications of the rescue operation. We cannot sustain 2 million refugees in space indefinitely, said the French ambassador. They need a planet. The discussion grew heated as various options were debated. Some suggested helping the Beck find an uninhabited world. Others proposed integrating them into human society. The session was interrupted when an aide rushed in with urgent news. Madam Secretary General, a ship has entered Earth orbit. It's not one of ours. The chamber fell silent. Put it on screen, the Secretary General ordered. The main display showed a sleek vessel unlike any human design. A stern-faced alien appeared on screen, its features reptilian and cold. I am Ambassador Torax of the Orion Conclave, the translator conveyed. I demand to speak with your leadership regarding your interference with the Beck refugees. 20 minutes later, Ambassador Torax stood before the General Assembly. The Beck situation was already determined by the Galactic Council, he stated flatly. Their homeworld was in a restricted development zone. Their expansion violated established protocols. Their fate was decided by consensus. The Secretary General stood from her chair. You left them to die in space. They breached galactic law, Torax replied. Consequences were applied. The Russian ambassador spoke next. You're saying you allowed children to die because of a bureaucratic boundary violation? Their fate was determined by consensus, Torax repeated. General Lee, who had returned to Earth for the meeting, stood up. Well, Ambassador, we've reached a different consensus. The Beck are under our protection now. Torax's eyes narrowed. You cannot protect them. Your technology is primitive. Your species is not recognized by the Council. Perhaps not, the Japanese ambassador replied. But we recognize the Beck as people worthy of life. That seems to be the difference between us. This is not a request, Torax warned. Return the Beck to their flotilla and withdraw your ships. Non-compliance will have consequences. The room erupted in angry voices. The Secretary General raised her hand for silence. Ambassador Torax, please convey this message to your council. Earth will not abandon the Beck. If helping them violates your laws, then perhaps your laws need to change. As Torax left in anger, the gathered leaders looked at each other. They had just challenged powers far beyond Earth's technological level. What happens now? Asked the Brazilian ambassador. General Lee looked at the satellite image of the refugee flotilla. Now we show the galaxy what humanity stands for. The Humanity Project continues, no matter what comes next. 3 years after the rescue of the Beck, Earth had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The integration of the alien refugees had not been without challenges, but the results transformed human society. In New Seoul, a coastal city that had welcomed 30,000 Beck settlers, Professor Jinwoo stood before a massive solar array. Unlike Earth's previous solar technology, these panels absorbed nearly 98% of all solar radiation. The power output was revolutionary. The efficiency improvements have reduced the city's carbon emissions by 87% in just 2 years, Jinwoo explained to a group of visiting officials. His translucent skin glowed softly with pride as he pointed to the data displays. Mayor Rodriguez nodded in appreciation. And you've trained our engineers to build and maintain these systems? Yes. The knowledge belongs to all of us now, Jinwoo replied. It is the least we can offer for our new home. Across the globe, similar stories unfolded. Beck agricultural techniques helped restore depleted soils. Their medical insights extended human lifespans. Their artists created works of light and sound that moved humans to tears. But even as the Beck found their place on Earth, ripples spread across the galaxy. On the space station Freedom, built at the edge of the solar system, Admiral Lee received an unexpected transmission. Sir, we're picking up a signal. Non-human, non-Beck. Lee hurried to the communications center. On the main screen, a new alien appeared. This one resembled a cross between an octopus and a dolphin, with glistening blue-green skin. We are the Trell, the translator decoded. Our world is dying. Oceans acidifying. The Galactic Council ignored our requests for aid. The Beck told us of Earth. Of humans. Can you help us? Within a month, a human-Beck joint mission set out to assist the aquatic Trell. They found a water world whose delicate ocean chemistry had been disrupted by illegal mining operations conducted by the Vex hegemony. 6 months later, another plea reached Earth. This time from the Nari, a species of brilliant mathematicians exiled from their homeworld for their religious beliefs. Their small fleet had wandered for decades, denied entry at every established world. "We heard humans judge people by their actions, not by ancient conflicts," said their leader, Haru. "Is this true?" Earth opened its doors again. The Nari settled mainly in the southern hemisphere, where they quickly revolutionized Earth's understanding of theoretical physics. The established powers of the galaxy watched with growing concern as Earth became a haven for the overlooked and ignored. Each rescued species brought new knowledge, new perspectives, and new strength to humanity's growing influence. In the Galactic Council chambers, the Tanis ambassador addressed the emergency session. "These humans are disrupting the natural order," he warned. "They collect broken civilizations like trinkets. They know nothing of the complex balance we maintain." The Vex representative hissed in agreement. "They must be stopped before more undesirables seek their protection." An elderly Beck scholar named Miho, invited to observe the proceedings, rose slowly from his seat. Though frail, his voice carried through the chamber. "Perhaps," he said, "they recognize that broken things still have value." The council members fell silent. "You call us undesirable," Miho continued. "You left my grandchildren to die in space because we settled too close to a boundary line we didn't know existed. The humans asked no questions about our worth or our politics. They simply saw our need." Back on Earth, in what had once been Brazil, a historic moment unfolded. Human scientists worked alongside Beck engineers, Trell marine biologists, and Nari mathematicians. Together, they activated the first interspecies research project, a gravity wave detection system far more advanced than anything humans could have built alone. As the system came online, it immediately detected something unexpected. Dr. Campos looked at the readings in shock. "That can't be right. According to this, there's a massive fleet approaching from the direction of the Orion Conclave." A Nari mathematician named Jihun quickly verified the data. "Warships. Many warships." Word reached UN headquarters within the hour. Emergency meetings convened. Military commanders assessed Earth's limited defenses. In the midst of the growing crisis, a young Beck woman named Sora approached the podium during a public briefing. "You took us in when no one would," she said simply. "Now we stand with you. The Beck fleet may be old, but our ships can still fight." A Trell representative rose next. "Our water bombs can disrupt their navigation systems." A Nari engineer added, "And our understanding of spacetime might give us an advantage they don't expect." As the Secretary General looked out at the faces, human and alien alike, she realized that Earth was no longer alone in the universe. They had found something more powerful than advanced technology. They had found allies who remembered what it meant to be helped when all hope was lost. 20 years after the rescue of the Beck, Earth had transformed beyond recognition. The orbital station New Horizon hung in space like a shining wheel, home to representatives from 17 formerly ignored species who now called the Sol system their sanctuary. Today marked the first official human allied species conference. Delegates from across the galaxy had arrived, some openly, others in secret, to witness this unprecedented gathering. Commander Sun Wu, now gray and stooped but still proud, moved slowly toward the speaker's platform. His once translucent skin had grown cloudy with age, but the inner light still pulsed with life as he addressed the assembly. "I remembered drifting in the void," he began, his translator now perfectly rendering his words in multiple languages simultaneously. "Our ships were failing. Our children were dying. We had sent pleas to the great powers of the galaxy, and all had turned away." The chamber was silent. Many of the delegates had similar stories. "We were the forgotten ones. The deemed unworthy. The statistical rounding errors in the grand equations of galactic politics. But these humans, these wonderful, stubborn, emotional beings, they saw us." In the front row, General Reyes, once Captain Reyes of the Explorer, smiled at the old commander. Her hair was now white, her face lined, but her eyes still held the same determination that had led her to answer that first distress call. "When advanced civilizations calculated that our rescue was inefficient," Sun Wu continued, "humans asked a different question: how could we not help?" The alliance that had grown from that simple question had changed the balance of power in the galaxy. Earthships, built with Beck engineering, powered by Trell Organics, and navigating with Nari mathematics, now traveled farther and faster than any in the galaxy. Minsu, the current Secretary General of the United Nations, stepped to the podium after Sun Wu finished. Behind him, a viewscreen showed images from across Earth, Beck-light artists performing in Tokyo, Trell water engineers restoring coral reefs in Australia, Nari scientists teaching at universities worldwide. Today we announce the formation of the Mutual Protection Alliance, Minsu declared. Any species in need may seek our aid. Any peaceful civilization may join us. The delegates rose in applause. Among them was Jean Wu, a historian from the Beck homeworld colony recently established on Mars. He had been born on Earth, the first generation of his kind to grow up in safety. After the ceremony, Jean Wu found himself standing beside General Reyes on an observation deck overlooking Earth. "My grandfather told me stories about you," he said. "About the day humans first came aboard our ships." Reyes smiled. "I was just doing my job." "You changed the galaxy," Jean Wu replied. "The Galactic Council has recognized our alliance now, not out of kindness but necessity." Indeed, after years of threats and posturing, the established powers had finally extended formal recognition. The human delegation had arrived at Council headquarters with representatives from each allied species, a show of unity that couldn't be ignored. "We have a simple proposal," Earth's ambassador had told them. "No distress call goes unanswered. No civilization is deemed expendable. The galaxy has enough room for compassion alongside protocol." Now, as the conference concluded, ships prepared to depart for all corners of the galaxy, carrying news of the alliance. On the command deck of the flagship Freedom, Admiral Jaiwo, daughter of the navigator who had first directed the Beck flotilla toward Earth, finalized the departure sequence. "Last ship reporting ready, Admiral," her first officer announced. "Proceed," Jaiwo ordered. As the vessels moved into formation, she received an unexpected message. "Admiral, we're picking up a distress signal. Origin, Orion Conclave territory." Jaiwo's four eyes widened. "The Orion Conclave? They're calling for help?" "Yes, Admiral. It appears their central world is under attack by an unknown force from beyond the galactic rim." Jaiwo considered this with grim satisfaction. The Orion Conclave had been among those who had left her people to die. Now they found themselves in need. She opened a channel to all Alliance ships. "Change of plans. Set course for Orion Conclave space, maximum speed. Prepare medical and emergency response teams." Her first officer looked surprised. "We're helping them? After everything they did?" "That's what this alliance stands for," Jaiwo replied. "We help those in need, even those who once turned away from us." As the fleet changed direction, Hannah, a young Beck engineer, approached Admiral Jaiwo. "They still don't understand, do they?" she asked quietly. "Why we would come to their aid after they abandoned us." Jaiwo smiled, watching the stars streak by as their ships accelerated. "They will," she said. "Someday they'll learn that true strength comes not from power, but from compassion. That is humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy, and now it is ours to share."